Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy, and we have her mic. So I spent a solid hour trying to iron out the kinks, and I think I got it. But please let me know if you guys hear us okay and it's not echoey.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but no one wants to hear all that. I'm just saying, no one wants to hear all that.
They do. You may not, but they do.
So how was your weekend reselling? This is a nice little weekend coming up. We have no shipping to do on Monday. So
they all say sounds like we're in the bathroom.
We're in the bathroom. Okay, we're in the bathroom. So we won't flush, I promise. So hold on real quick. I'm going to bump hers
they're
down.
saying Jenna echo.
Okay, how about that?
Jamil said hello.
Can you hear her better now? Is she better now?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I don't have it now. Okay. Well, I'm trying to get her squared away so she's not too loud, but
we tried testing it, but
how about now?
Jonathan,
you guys
he said flushing.
How about now? Are we okay? Are we too echoey? Darn it. Someone put something in the chat. I can see your chat live. I can see the old chat too.
More like a cave.
Better now?
Better
okay.
now.
Better now. So we're going to go with that. We're going to get this thing tuned in. So many different issues, but there, when you have two mics going on at the same time, they can kind of catch each other. So you have to do it just right. And we're going to get it worked out. But nonetheless, seller protections, something that I wanted to talk about today. And the reason is I constantly see messages on, saw one on the Discord. I see them all over the place on community boards, on eBay's boards, where sellers find out the hard way when it's all said and done exactly what protections that we have. And for the most part, we don't really have a whole lot of protections if you think about it. eBay will say they protect us in certain situations. I don't want to kind of gloss over it here to start the show, but when it comes to buyer and seller, eBay is almost always going to side with the buyer, and that we just have to accept that. Now, for some of you guys, you have expensive items that you're selling, and you got to determine, is it worth the risk of listing that $1,000 item? Are you in it for the short haul? If you're in it for the short haul and you're just selling things that have value, but you plan on not selling any valuable things again, then you probably shouldn't sell on eBay because of the risk. If you're in it for the long haul, like me, well, it is worth the risk. And if I get burned, I'm going to go in and just write it off as the cost of doing business. I mean, that's not what a lot of people want to hear, but you have to have that mentality that, okay, fine, they send me back a brick, I'll be able to deduct up to 50%. Now, mind you, that's no seller fees are coming back to you if you deduct anything. You got to remember that. So you have to weigh the risk and the reward. And if you sell on say somewhere like Amazon, you already know that it's a lot easier for buyers to get over on sellers, and when you come over to eBay, it's like, this is nothing. And so is reselling large ticket items worth the risk? Now, for those who maybe don't know, I just want to kind of gloss over to the seller protections and how am I protected from abusive buyers? Bottom line, without reading the whole thing, eBay protects you from abusive buyers by taking action against the buyer. We don't care about that. What happens if something happens outside your control? We'll protect you by... Now, this is where they don't back us up. We will protect you by removing negative and neutral feedback and defects when things happen that are outside your control, such as weather or carrier delays, or when the item arrives late, but tracking allows you shipping, shows that you shipped on time. That's still a fight to get negatives removed, even though it's right there in black and white in their policy. Protections for top-rated sellers. So that's why it's important to be top-rated. You get more protections. So top-rated sellers are eligible for these protections when all the following criteria are met. Your seller performance level is top-rated seller at the time of the protection. You reside in the U.S., including U.S. territories. We'll give it to Canada, the 51st state. And you don't have a very high rating in any of your service metrics. The item was listed on eBay.com, and the listing offered a 30-day, there's no word free in there, mind you, 30-day or longer return, so it can be buyer pays. Now, if a buyer falsely claims an INAD, which we've probably all been a victim of, when you report the buyer and we determine the buyer has made a false claim, we may subsidize the return shipping label for $6 per return. That's, to me, it doesn't touch what I pay for a return label, but that, okay, fine. It could take up to 60 days for this amount to be credited to your account. I've only seen this happen once in the last, since they've put this $6 credit in there, 2 or 3 years. We'll automatically remove any related negative or neutral feedback, and the return won't count on your not as described rate in service metrics. Now, this is, again, not accurate in that they don't automatically remove negative or neutral feedback when you report the buyer. You still have to go in and fill out that negative feedback removal form on the site. So, again, eBay is not following their own policies for seller protection. So how can we feel confident in the written seller protection if eBay is not honoring that? An item is returned after it was used or damaged by your buyer. We have that happen, right? I get it all the time. I mean, I have this Preeti. It's called a Preeti. It's an Indian cuisine. It's like a ninja, like a food processor. And they used the crap out of it. Claimed that it didn't work. They sent it back. And it was not only beat up, but their last batch of whatever the hell they cooked, they left me some. So now here we go. If you accept the buyer's return request, but the item is returned in a different condition than it was originally sent, you can deduct up to 50% from the refund to recover the lost value of the item. We'll automatically remove any related negative or neutral feedback. Here's that automatically thing, because it's not been automatic. No. If the buyer had requested the return because the item did not match the listing, we won't count the return, and your item is not described rate in the service metrics, the bad returns that hurt your high return rates. Here's the thing, though. How many people have fought an INAD and have won? Because nobody's looking at it, guys. I see the black and white that they're showing us here, but where's the real seller protection? How many reps, when you get them on the phone, even know what your seller protections are? Half of them think you have to offer free returns, and it's not written that way. Now, protections for all sellers, abusive buyers. When we determine that a buyer has violated the abusive buyer policy, we'll remove any associated negative or neutral feedback and defects, including any open cases and service metrics. For abusive buyers, we may also limit their ability to request returns on eBay, and in serious cases, they suspend the account. But again, they're saying it's an automatic thing, removal of negative or neutral feedback. Yeah. An item is returned after it was used by a buyer. We talked about that. You can take the 50% off. A buyer retracted their bid or didn't pay. If a buyer retracts their bid and disrupts your auction, you can choose to cancel the order or remove any related negative or neutral feedback. The buyer doesn't pay within the time allowed, you cancel the order. We'll remove any related feedback. They keep talking about feedback, but they're not really good at removing it. A buyer demanded something not offered in the original listing. I get this a lot. I sell something that didn't have an accessory, and then they come back and say, well, where is it at? Send me this accessory. It says 2 different places that accessory is not included. But yet, here it is. You never have to agree to any change in the terms in your listing, for example, including additional items or giving a discount. If a buyer demands a change to what you originally offered, you could choose to cancel the order, or you can complete the transaction under the original terms. We'll remove any related negative or neutral feedback, here we go, and canceled order defects when we could see the buyer's demands in eBay messages. How about this? Events outside your control. We automatically adjust your late shipment rate when the carrier scan. We've talked about this before. The scan shows you actually shipped it on time within your handling time, and the item has arrived within the window that eBay told the buyer. Now, we don't really see that. I mean, I guess there's a place to find it. I don't offhand know where to find what information, what shipping arrival date the customer's given, but what's within your control? Getting that thing out on the day or before you promise the buyer you're going to ship it, and it doesn't matter if the item arrives late because both have to happen for them to count it against you. Let's see. eBay international shipping. I'm not going to go into international too much. Severe weather. We automatically adjust your late shipment rate and remove canceled transaction defects when your shipment was impacted by delivery delay, by widespread or severe weather. The shipment receives a carrier scan within your handling time, even if the item arrives late, which is what I was telling you about, and we instruct you to hold the shipment or cancel the order. So we get into other protections here. Seller performance standards. You want to keep your performance metrics up. I won't go into that too much. eBay money back guarantee. A buyer can go in and report that an item hasn't arrived. And of course your tracking is going to back that up or not. If a buyer reports an item isn't as described, now that's subjective. A buyer can say whatever they want about your item. You send them a red item, they say it's green, and it's certainly red. Well, eBay's not going to side with you guys. They're going to side with the buyer. If a buyer doesn't ship or return, sometimes eBay will see that the buyer hasn't returned the item by the date that they're given, which is like 30 days, right? But they're not returned it by then. They'll just close the case in your favor. That's fine. And then guaranteed fit, like with your eBay Motors, when a buyer opens a return for a vehicle part or accessory, the select doesn't fit my vehicle will cover the cost of eBay return label. Item doesn't qualify for the eBay return label. You'll be responsible for providing a way for the buyer to return the item. And then we get into payment disputes, and that's another whole can of worms altogether. Chargebacks, if a buyer opens a chargeback, they'll cover the amount of the dispute, waive the dispute fee, and remove the negative and neutral feedback if you win the dispute. If you lose it, you got to pay a $20 fee for eBay's getting in there and doing the legwork. And eligibility, this is the last part we'll read and we'll get back to the show. Eligibility for protections. Most transactions on eBay are covered by seller protections. However, the following types of items and listings are not covered. Items that violate our prohibited and restrictive items policies. So if you're selling an item, maybe out of category to get around the fact that they've removed categories for certain items, you're not going to have any protection there. Items that are excluded from eBay money back guarantee. Some examples include vehicles, real estate, websites and business for sale, classified ads, services, digital content, intangible goods, and some business equipment categories. Most of us don't sell those. If you do any of the following, you may lose your eligibility for seller protections. Operate with a false identity. Don't do that. Fail to follow through with your service promises, such as not honoring your return policy. So if you just refuse to accept a return, that's no good. Have a history of serious policy violations, such as selling counterfeits, using prohibited forms of drop shipping, or taking sales off eBay. Those are 3 no-nos that eBay does not like, so don't do it. Abuse or fraudulently use the seller protections. For example, you have a history of reporting buyers for false INAD requests when you had not described the item correctly. So here we go. We dispute the INAD, but eBay is going to drop the hammer down on you if they get too many. Unfairly deducting too much from the buyer's refund when an item is returned in a different condition. In these cases, the deduction should only be used to recoup the actual lost value of the item. In what they're saying is they have a chart they want you to follow, and they don't want you hitting the buyer with 50% every time. And you can lose your ability to actually have that tool if you use that every time. The problem is they're not giving you your fees back, and if you're deducting 20-25%, you might as well not even bother, because you're better off just giving them a full refund and getting your fees back. And if eBay steps in to help with a return or item not received request on your behalf, you'll no longer be able to deduct an amount from the buyer's refund when an item is returned, used, or damaged to the buyer. And if we determine that you're responsible for refunding the buyer, we won't remove negative and neutral feedback, as it will count as a case closed without seller resolution. otherwise known as a defect on your account, which you don't want. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what that is, and what seller protections are about. I don't feel too protected when I read that, to be honest with you. And I still sell on the platform. Okay, I'm not here to badmouth eBay, but I'm here to give you the truth. I read it to you. We all have our opinions about eBay feedback removal. It doesn't happen automatically the way they say it does. And when we follow their processes to have it returned, they deny it, and we have to call them up and dispute that. And half the time they deny it anyway. And yet we still sell on the platform. So I accept it, and I don't put posts online, saying, hey, this sucks, woe is me, screw eBay, because that is not the mindset that you need to be successful. You have to accept the idea that in 2025, I'm going to get burned a few times. And if I don't, well, hey, that's good. But I need to expect it. And you change that mindset, and it doesn't sting as bad. Yeah, it's always going to suck. But you got more stuff out there to list. You get to it. And you do the best you can. Fight for what you can. Try to get as much money back out of the transaction that you can. But at the end of the day, they do the chargeback, and you've done everything you can to fight it. What more can you do other than posting stuff online, getting upset, allowing it to ruin your day, your motivation, and, we all have a decision to make on where we sell, but every platform comes with a selling risk. And I just putting it out there. I'm not happy with half the things I just read you because I know half the protections really don't exist, but yet here I am selling on the platform and accepting, if I sell a $1,200 item and the buyer decides to burn me. The good thing is most buyers, I'd say 95% of buyers are not bad people. I mean, you might disagree, but that's kind of the way I see it. So I do have something went funny here. I'm trying to find the comments when we first started, but I guess it's not going to show me. But do hit the like button. Hit that like button. It's like a lucky dip. I do believe, though, if I'm being fair, I think it was Duncan.
Dip?
Yeah.
What is a dip?
I don't know. Do the dip. But
No.
nonetheless, I think Duncan was here first, but I don't quite. I can't.
Tell you.
I can't really give him that credit.
No.
Oh, Keith.
It
Keith was
Keith.
first. And
It's always Keith.
And I don't know. Not always. It's not always. Keith gets sick once in a while. So I'm glad you're feeling better.
Once.
Duncan says, as long as JRJ does not say the word returns or INAD. Well, I read it. I already read all that. So it's, and then Keith wants to remind you guys, join the Discord, guys. We have a growing community of people. Use the link in the chat to go check it out. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Or in the description box down below if you're watching this after the fact.
Want to know what I just realized?
What did you realize?
Why did you copy me wearing the same color?
Because it's I'm practicing for St. Patrick's Day.
That was dumb.
It was.
That was
That's the only thing that came to my mind. I have no answer. I just threw this on, really, to be honest with you. But we did get membership. Who got the membership?
No, it was Pitco. He just renewed.
Oh, he renewed.
It says just renewing.
Just renewing. Well, thank you for renewing. And guys, we got about 40-something people, I think, that are members. We're trying to grow the community. We are going to expand. What did we have? It was the 8th we did. So the 22nd is the next one we're going to do, where we do a live stream for the members. And we're going to do the reseller roundtable where we spend an hour and a half, and we go over different accounts, different stores, maybe our own, to talk about best practices and things that we can do better, things that all of us can learn to apply towards our own eBay business. We got Mike Camparelli, Mike Meetups. Hey, Keith and Duncan, guess that makes me third. You were third. Mm-hmm. And you guys are awesome. I'm sitting here reading comments that you guys placed hours ago, by the way. I'm going to try to get through some of that. Mike says, looking forward to the next video we're putting out next week also. If you haven't gone over and checked Mike Metgo Meetups, what are you waiting for? they have a podcast that they put out, and they really are focused about the community, getting resellers together, talking about some of these events that are coming up, and go check them out. But he says they're looking forward to the next video. We are putting out next week. We'll be interviewing Katie and Vicky for the Boss Reseller Remix coming up in Las Vegas in March.
Oh, that should be good.
Keith says, yeah, but you did start out saying you would talk for a minute, that's all, and that was a long minute. It's always a long minute. Mike says, that one holds a special place in my heart for sure. I think you're talking about the Boss Reseller Remix. It was the first meetup I ever went to, and also the one where I first met John and Jenna and Archie. Great memories.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, what restaurant was that?
Not sure. I'm not sure.
I can't remember. I mean, I remember sitting there, but I can't remember what the name of the...
No, Mike says, notice how I laughed when I said it, because I never talked for a minute. LOL. You learned a lot from John. Yep. And of course, Mike saying hi to us and our great reselling family. How's everyone today? A lot of side talk, so let me get past that. Keith says, it just seems to keep growing, but you got to let things grow out there at their own speed. So moving into bigger space to grow onto the next couple of years, maybe. Yeah. One thing is, I want you guys to know, I spent quite a bit of time today and over the last few days. We have a really cool outro, and I'm really excited. I'm always excited for this, like a kid in the candy store, but I'm rocking out to this outro. It's pretty cool, but it's not going to be, the thing is, I'm going to try to change it up once a week. So we have one, we go to a next one, and it just makes it fresh, and I just love that. I wish I would have done this sooner. So please stick with us till the end of the show, and you'll get a chance to check it out. Montezuma says, if your shoes don't pass the eBay authenticity program, is that a ding on your account? They've told me no. We actually had a pair of Jordans that we sent in early last year, and they said that they said it was, to them, inauthentic because of the structure of the shoe. Now, I don't know what the hell that means. Okay, they sent it back. They said, if you have multiple instances, then they'll start looking at it as you're trying to maybe pawn off fakes. Right now, we had any idea what happened to that one that we had?
I checked on it yesterday.
Anybody remember the shoes that were thrown over my fence? And we were like, okay, cool. Well, we sold those for $109, and of course, anything over $75. You have to have them authenticated. So we sent them in, but no word yet.
No
right?
word.
So
it doesn't show any information.
That would be the biggest freebie I think I've ever had, where just someone says, "Here, take my shoes." Throws it over a reseller's fence. Well, that's not going to...
Well, the funniest part was, sure, we found the first one, but John threw it over the fence, or over the wall, because it's a brick wall back there, and he throws it back over and it lands on the sidewalk, and then the next morning I go out and the shoe is back, and I'm like, what the heck?
Well, you thought that they threw both shoes over the fence. One shoe was over on one side of the yard, the other shoe was over the fence, so I'm like, well, maybe someone's missing it. My reseller didn't kick in at that point. I threw it over the fence, okay, just like someone losing their ball over the fence. It's going to go back over because there's a park on the other side of the fence. Mm-hmm. So I'm driving to the storage unit. I'm driving back saying, you know what? She had said, why did this shoe get thrown back over the fence? So I'm like, well, I don't know, but I'm not going to throw it back over. So I'm driving to the storage unit and I see the other shoe and I'm like, okay, if that shoe's there on the way back, I'm going to stop because I don't think she threw it over the fence. So I picked it up and she had the other shoe and I'm like, okay, well, these are kind of clean too. And they're Jordans. Let's get them listed. The comps are good. We cleaned them up and listed them and the rest is history. So we'll find out. That's the best way to source, by the way. Maybe put a sign saying, if you have any items you want to lose, throw them over the fence. Keith says, well, if I say this time next year I'm looking for bigger, then I must be doing something right. LOL. There we go. Getting past the sidebar, and of course this thing, you just have to.
I don't understand why it does it.
It just wants to go when I'm scrolling here and someone puts a new comment, it goes to the new comment, but it doesn't understand my flow where I'm behind all the time. Pitco has 2,900 square feet. It's just about enough for maybe a year or so. Anyway, depends on how you grow.
Dang, that's big.
Let's see. Flipping from the trailer says, and the chat, how's everyone?
Hey.
You said us too. So nice to see you. Joe Samard says, howdy, Jen and John. Hope your week has been good. And we have Fisher Flips says, good evening, all listening while listing. Reminder, post office is closed on Monday. Have a great weekend. Yes. So you have, I look at it as this way. We have a 3-day weekend as resellers because our obligation, at least for us, same day shipping, is to ship it out on Monday. So that's not going out on Monday. I'm still going to do all the stuff like the listing and doing everything I can with the account. But it's just that one thing that we don't have to mess with.
I am taking Monday completely
off. Beard says 47th. Woohoo. Victor says, hello, John, Jenna, and the FA family.
Hello, Victor.
Nice to see you, Victor. Going back here to Beard's comment, he's so excited about the Profit Playbook podcast. It's episode 47, and it'll be dropping tomorrow morning. So check out episode 47. It's got to be what he's talking about.
Pretty ironic.
Hello, John, Jenna, and chat. I hope everyone is doing well.
Hello, Callie Debs. I hope you're doing well.
Nice to see you. Hopefully the whole situation with the fires and the smoke is kind of dissipating a little bit. I haven't checked it out in a few days. Jovial says, hey, FA fam, happy National Ditch the New Year's Resolution Day.
What about for those who just never started with a resolution?
I have a plan, and I'm going to stick to that plan at some point.
At some point.
It's not a resolution, but I'm going to try to lose a little weight. You know, it's not one of those New Year's resolution things. I know Archie was talking to me. He went on his diet. He went on the keto diet thing, and I'm like, well, what did you have for breakfast yesterday? Oh, I baked some bacon with cream cheese rolled in. I'm like thinking, that doesn't sound good at all.
Actually,
that doesn't really sound good at all.
For me, it does.
I mean, bacon makes a lot of things okay, but not that. I mean, that doesn't sound right.
That actually kind of sounds good.
Ping G says, happy Friday, John and Jen in the chat.
Hello,
nice to see you, Ping. Mike Sellers says, happy Friday, FAE family. Nice to see you.
Hello, Mike.
We have Samantha Hunter. Says, good evening, John, Jen, and FAE viewers. How are you?
Hello, Samantha.
Doing great. And then I guess Beard, I don't think Beard's really been on the Discord, but Keith did put a post for him, so go check that out. Beard. Andy Reno says, hello, FAE people. How is everyone doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. And we have Southern Vermont Vintage in the house.
Hello.
And we were in the bathroom. We've left the bathroom. We're in the hallway. I hope we're not echoing you guys.
Yeah.
Mike Sellers says 9 days and counting, 0 sales. Wow.
Oh.
Mike, there's got to be an answer there. You're always welcome to email me, flippingainteasy2020.
Mike, didn't you want to have your store on the live for the members?
I think he did.
Did he?
I thought he did, but there's got to be an answer.
Remember.
There's got to be an answer.
There's got to be something.
You know what? If I've gone 3 days without a sale, I'm end item and selling similar on everything, and so I'm wiping the whole thing out. Matt Marge was letting us know about an echo, and our recruiter son is letting us know that flushing ain't easy.
Yeah, why aren't you recruiting? We need our army.
Yeah, recruiting ain't easy. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
So I think we're all good now.
Chastity, hello.
Right. Hey, all. Thanks for being here. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, Helen.
Copper Cat says, hello, FA family. Happy Friday.
Hello,
yes, nice to see
Cat.
you. More better. Jersey Jane says, Echo. And Rihanna says, happy Friday, J&J and FA fam. January is flying by.
It really is. I seriously, right before we started, just said out loud, oh my God, it's almost February.
I'm
Like,
telling you, the older you get, the faster it's going. I'm seeing it. I'm living it.
I've got so much. Well, so in the beginning of February, Tyler, our new Army National Guardsman, is going to be coming out for one last visit before he heads off to boot camp and all the other things he has to go do.
Yeah.
But so I will be going to California with him, taking him and his girlfriend to California for a farewell, good luck little celebration. So we're gonna do that
Cool.
on between the 5th and the 5th and the 10th.
Oh, that kills it.
What?
Because there's a certain someone in town in Vegas I wanted to go see, and you would love to go see him. There's a comedian out there by the name of Bobby Collins that we saw when we were in Ventura, Oxnard.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, he's going to be here on the 8th of February.
Aww.
So maybe we can all go. That'd be kind of fun.
We will be.
No? Well, I'll go by myself, darn it.
How are you gonna?
I'm going to take
there?
an Uber.
You might have to call
Heavy
Archie.
Chevy guy says, what protections do we have? eBay sucks, blah, blah, blah. The buyers and we as sellers are forced to bend backwards if the sale goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We do. And we have to, we all know it up front now. There's no excuses not to know it. So as a seller, what are you going to do? And I'm sure I'm going to get some comments saying, I'm not selling the platform anymore. And that's a decision that we all have to make. I can respect that decision. Is it a headache that you want to deal with? Now, if we're talking $5 or $10 items, you sell enough of those and you get burned once in a while, that should never affect. If you're making good money on the platform, that should never get you to run away from eBay. But if you have high dollar items in your store, you've got to be okay with the idea that sometimes you're going to lose. And sometimes the buyer's going to get it. They're going to play the game. A lot of these buyers know how to play the game. And they're going to open a chargeback. And you're going to have to fight like hell and pray that the credit card company is going to consider all the information that you submitted just to get that money back. So for me, I've already accepted it. You know, we make $140,000 on this platform. If I lose $2,000 to $3,000 a year in bad buys, then it's going to have to happen. I don't have any other place that's going to provide the kind of traffic that eBay does. So it's just the way it is. Southern Vermont says, you all see the seller that posted about getting burned for his card collection, $7,700. I saw that.
Oh.
Saw that video. And that is actually one of the instances that got me to thinking about this. For those of you guys who didn't see it, he had a graded as a 1987 Fleer basketball set, and he had all the cards graded. Now it's one thing to have a set of cards in a set, but to have them all graded and to find them, get them graded. And we're talking like Michael Jordan. I'm not sure I don't think it was his rookie card, but you got all those cards in there, and the set was valued at like $7,000, $8,000, $9,000. He sold it for $7,700. Had all the cards in a big case. And those of you guys don't know what a graded card looks like. It's in there's some down there in that drawer there, but it's in an acrylic case, and they have a grade on them from different companies that grade them, and it brings a lot more value to the card itself. So he sent that in. No, that's not a graded card.
Well, that's all I can.
Okay, well that's not a graded card, but nonetheless, you guys, I think most of you guys know what I'm talking about. And so the guy sent him a message saying, "Well, I thought this was the 1986 set with like the so and so rookie cards." And he's like, "No, that's not the set." And the seller had no returns, which is bad. Don't have no returns.
There's
no
such thing as returns.
The guy had asked to return it, and he denied. He called eBay. eBay said, "No, stick by your return policy." He denied the return. Now, okay, so now the buyer has fulfilled their obligation to try to make it work with the seller. The seller denied them. So now their only recourse, and this is in the buyer's mind, I'm not saying that they were right for doing this, but they went in and opened a chargeback to the credit card company, and guess what? They won the case. eBay told them to go pound sand, even though they told him to, honor your return policy and don't accept the return. Number one, guys, if you have no returns, just know there really is no such thing as no return policy, because there's no seller protection there for you. If they open an INAD, eBay is going to make you take the return. If the buyer comes back at you, it's not an INAD, but requests a return, and that item has value, consider taking the return. It's better to get that back and lose the sale and start over again than for that buyer to say, okay, I've met my obligation to try to work with the merchant. They're denying me, so I'm going to go to the credit card company, and they're going to side with that buyer almost every time. Get your item back, undo the sale. Yes, $7,700 sucks, but if that item has that kind of value, you'll be able to recoup that in no time with another buyer. So, lesson to be learned right there, guys. To me, if I get a return request over $100, I'm going to take it. I'll take the risk if it's lower than that. But if it's a higher item than that, even if it's beyond your 30-day window, I would consider taking it. And I'm not one that would do that. But looking at this person and the lesson that they had to learn the hard way, well, we should all learn from that. There really is no seller protection.
Name of the buyer?
He put the buyer on blast. He put the buyer's name, his face, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow.
But, I don't even have the name of the channel off the top of my head. But what is it? What are you pointing at? Larry Todd says, dang, I'm late and the diatribe is still going. Yes. This is a constant diatribe, by the way, this live stream. Anissa says, Todd, I saw you on Andrews. You're cheating.
Uh-oh.
Andrews. Who's Andrews?
It must be another YouTuber.
I mean, well, who's Andrews? I feel bad now. Todd dogged me for Andrews.
No, Todd came from Andrews.
I know. He would rather watch Andrews over Flipping and Easy.
Maybe if your diatribe wasn't so damn long.
Well, I hope for somebody it's informative. It's not like I'm sitting here like just talking to myself. I do try to discuss things. Fisher Flip says, has anyone watched the 77 scam? Yep, that's what we're talking about. So the Vermont says Black Vault Market posted the video. So that's the name of the channel. Black Vault Market is the name of the channel.
Say it again.
Watch it after
Black Vault Market.
There you go. Duncan says, oh dear, he said INAD. Here comes the INADs. Mike G says, good evening. Like clockwork, got my sale right before the show. Large multi-order sale to repeat buyer. $1,000 day and finally a Good Friday sales day. Love January sales.
How come my deck isn't
because
working?
It's not set up. You got to get it set up. You got to know where it's at.
I don't know where it's at.
Yes, there you go.
I can't even hear it.
You can't hear it because I don't want the echo, but you guys can hear it. I hope you guys can hear that okay. Put that up a little bit more. Mad Hatter Boutique, Brett says, buyer protection for me 99% of the time is due to a package not delivered, and since I sent it with tracking, eBay honors me the sale and refunds the buyer. Anytime I ask for feedback removed, they do it too. Well, Brett, I gotta say, you're probably the minority there. Now, of course, I've had eBay cover me. I've had eBay remove negative feedback. I've had eBay take a chargeback. Buyer opens a chargeback due to not knowing what the transaction is or not receiving the item, and eBay verifies that. They cover me. Good on eBay for that. They get their flowers for that. But on other types of chargebacks or problems, it is a fight, and I'm not the only one who's had to go through that. Fisher Flip says, I tried to report a buyer for false INAD and the screen went to it's not you, it's us screen. Hey, what happened here? I didn't see this. Major Win.
Aww.
Well, thank you, Major Win. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Sorry I didn't see that earlier when you put it through, but thank you for the super chat.
You were too busy.
Well, I was in my diatribe, yes, but at the same time, also we try to catch it as you're, putting it in. So again, thank you for that. We certainly appreciate you. Matt Hatter says, I had one INAD and it was from Viacom about a SpongeBob that I was selling.
SpongeBob hat
that I was selling. I designed it years ago for a company, but chose not to fight it for one item. Not worth the trouble. Never had an in-person INAD or a person INAD him. It's just a matter of time before you get an INAD. But keep doing what you're doing. Whatever you're doing is working. But you're going to get that person who's going to say, yeah, Brett, this hat was red, but I really thought it was pink. And, you know, it's not what we want. And they're going to, you have free returns, so they're probably not, they're just probably put didn't like it or something. But if you don't have free returns, then they're going to find a way to return that on your dime, not theirs. Keith says, when you sell in electronics category, you are going to get negative feedbacks. It's the nature of that category. And that's why I'm not bothered by it at all. I have a number of negatives, and knock on particle board here. We haven't done, had a number of negative feedback for like 3 months now. So we're trying to get through as long as we can without a negative, but it's not going to bother me, you know, if it happens. Mike G has a case opened, out for delivery 3 days ago, probably an item not received case. Grateful Dad ATX. Grateful Dad ATX says, hi, Jenna and John. INADs suck. I had only one about a year ago. I won. The idiot returned an empty box, and eBay actually took my side.
Wow.
Well, I can tell you one thing that they do, and they actually go in and they have a way of seeing the actual weight of the item. So if you go in and you ship a 10-pound box, they ship back an empty 2-pound box. Say it's 2 pounds. Guess what? They're going to see.
Was that your stomach?
That was my stomach. I'm
Good
hungry right
Lord.
now. But nobody else heard it. That was a sound effect.
Jeez.
But nonetheless, they're going to see that and they're going to say, and I've been told that by an eBay supervisor who kind of didn't want to tell me, but yeah, I'll tell you one thing that we do, kind of thing. So I'm sharing it with you. Devon's with us. Hi, John and Jenna, and I'm double streaming.
Who else? No, she's probably watching
Let me guess.
Bitcoin.
It's Andrews.
Thing.
Andrews is getting the double stream action. Who's Andrews anyway?
I don't know. It must be a Bitcoin.
Oh my goodness. Silver hair, Larry Todd says, I should have bought it when it was $30 for Bitcoin. I had a chance to get him at $10, and I was going to invest $100.
But you didn't.
But I thought, you know what? This doesn't seem right. There's something that doesn't seem legit about this whole Bitcoin thing and blockchain. I didn't understand what the hell it was at the time. If I could only go back in time. Keith says, hey, John, how's your top secret part of selling going? Not bad. We listed the one item that was refurbed. Well, the video I put out where I had the tape on my mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, eBay doesn't want us talking about that. So if you are a seller of refurbished items that have been approved by eBay, they don't want you talking about it. And there's other things that I could have gone into that I can't. And on the surface, you kind of wonder why. It's not that big of a deal, but they don't want people to know what is involved in the program as a seller, and therefore I can't share it. So it's still top secret. My thing is join the program. Try to join the program. Sign up. You don't have to sell refurbished stuff, but just to be approved, and then you can see for yourself what that entails. Devon's hair's in a ponytail. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Because your hair looks so good. Okay.
Thank you. It's on another level. It's very clean. So it's just doing whatever it wants.
The Bodaki says Jenna is plotting against John.
When you're doing your diatribe.
Yeah, what were you plotting?
I wasn't. I was trying to figure out what I was going to eat for dinner.
I know. Devon says, John, your hair looks so nice. No, not really. I just throw some gel on it. Let's go. Major Win is wishing pings in Southern California. So wishing that, okay. We're further north and should hopefully be avoiding the worst of it, but we're keeping an eye on it.
Okay, good.
Jules Y75 says, hi y'all, happy Friday. Shipping here in the south is worse than before Christmas. I have so many packages sitting everywhere and not moving for 2 weeks. refunding buyers, then the package arrives insane. Now I hope
Package moves.
but it'll arrive. Eventually it'll arrive. Now if you refund the buyer, make sure that you're keeping track of it. After you refund the buyer, once it arrives, call eBay, because if a buyer opens an item not received and they're forcing you to refund the buyer, they're going to make you whole, and they have not made me whole. So that's a buyer seller protection, I guess we can be appreciative of, that if you do, they force your hand to refund something that hasn't arrived, the buyer's not going to get away with keeping the item and the money. I guess they do, because eBay's fronting the money for that. But I wonder what would happen if we're talking like $1,000 item. You know, what would happen? Because eBay's the one forcing you to refund the buyer. Yeah, she knows, we know. I'm going to put out a poll, though. I know you guys say that in jest, though, but really, would you prefer the live to start off with some kind of a topic where I'm trying to cover it in 10 to 15 minutes?
Well, it would be really nice if you could narrow it down to like 8 minutes.
Sometimes you
max.
can't. Sometimes you can't.
Well, you
Sometimes
can't, because you just like to...
Here we go. Here we go. I don't even... I mean,
I
got
get
enough...
that. Where's the tape that you had for that video?
I get enough trolls in the comments. I don't need one sitting by. I just bought you a microphone for yours. A pink one, no less. Don't screw it up. Because you got to put it back where you put it. Because otherwise the echo is going to be... Okay, there's your pink mic.
This is my pink microphone.
That's right.
Do you love it?
That is just weird right there. Jules Y75 says, buyers don't understand when get bad weather, we can't function. Yeah, they don't, and we just have to work through it, especially in the wintertime, when the winter for you guys are bad. I mean, for us it's cold, but some of you guys can't even get out of your driveway. Ping G says, well, I am way south of the fires, but I knew you were up there in the north.
Yeah, where is Major Win? Where are they? I think they're in...
Like Oxnard? It was a Bobby Collins joke where he was making fun of the people in Oxnard. And he's saying, Oxnard? It was the greatest joke. We were up in Oxnard. We actually saw them in Oxnard. We took the train up from Anaheim to, I believe it was Ventura. We stayed the night. I think we stayed the weekend up there in a hotel. Mm-hmm. And they had a show. This Bobby Collins guy just... I mean, he had me crying.
Oh my God, my stomach hurts so bad.
Yeah, and so, yeah. Devon says, I have great buyers, but there's always that one.
Always.
If you get enough buyers, you're going to get that one. Sometimes you're going to get that 2, that 3, that 4, that 5. What do you do?
You said we are near Oxnard.
He was making fun of people in Oxnard.
Yeah.
Gail says, hi, John, Jenna, and fam. I made it.
Hello,
LOL.
Gail.
Hey, Gail. Nice to see you. I guess I made Devon laugh at some point. Major Win says, we had been having a good run. Then all of a sudden, several buyers are trying to shake us down for quality items for free. It was like a mini mafia showed up.
Oh, wow.
And you don't have to do that. Don't give a partial... You know, my thought is, unless you've screwed up, don't give a partial refund to your buyer, because you're just reinforcing bad behavior, and they're going to do it again to someone else. Major Win. What are you doing?
Major Win?
Major Win for the win. What's
Where
going on here?
are Oxnardians at?
We're Oxnard. Oxnard. You got to go watch. I don't think Bobby Collins is going to do that bit if he's not an Oxnard, but it was funny.
Oh my God. It was it was so funny. It was so funny.
Trying to get back to where we were. I'm gonna catch it. Okay, here we go. The Badaki.
Wait, B-Nudes is here.
Okay, I'm going to join just to watch Jenna take down John, then take over the online empire. There you go.
You'll be watching a long time, because that's not going to happen.
Baskin Noodles.
I might take down John, but I'm certainly not going to take over the online.
With her pink mic.
Yeah. Hey, my pink mic. Lots of people would love to have my pink mic.
Larry Todd says, dang, Major, who would have shake you guys down? What assholes? Yes, I'll say it. Assholes. the people trying to shake them down are
Yeah.
arseholes.
Yeah.
Susan Phelps says, prepping for snow Monday through Tuesday.
Ooh.
No time to post today. Food and other supplies need to be bought.
Yes.
Snow totals should be over 4 inches in southeast Texas.
Southeast?
Well, that's kind of where Tyler's at, right?
Hold on.
Anissa says, who is interviewing K and V? That would be Mike.
Katie and Vicky.
Mike Camparelli is going to be
It's going to be
interviewing
on
them.
Mike Metco meetups.
Go check out that channel, by the way. We're trying to build him up. I don't know if he's over. Well, if you're anywhere near 1,000, but let's get him over 1,000 if he's not. Devon says, I will be in Vegas end of May Bitcoin conference.
You will? We have got to meet up. We have to meet up. We are going to do something.
We have 0 Bitcoin though.
We don't have any Bitcoin.
I've got gold. I've got silver, but
got
no
gold.
Bitcoin. Well, okay. The Badaki says, all kidding aside, you guys do a great job. Well, thank you for maybe Jenna more than John. Well,
Oh,
hey,
no.
you know, that's why
I'm
she's
just
here.
here. I'm just here.
Devon says, John is rocking out.
Yeah, when you're rocking out, making your songs.
Hey, I'm telling you, I had the outro song I'm going to play for you guys here at the end of the show.
Oh.
I had that rocking out because there's something about the way AI made that song that was like, to me, it was on point. So it's going to be a regular in the rotation. And I rewrote some of the lyrics on the second verse, and I really think it's kind of on point. So you're going to have to stick around to hear that. Devon says, I want to sell some Bottega boots. They were they're real. eBay will not authenticate them. I did not want a buyer to complain, took them off.
Huh.
But no. So Devon, you're just wondering if they will or won't authenticate them. So you just don't want them to complain. But if they're not real, you shouldn't be selling them that way. But if they are,
real.
just like your
That's
Louis
no
Vuitton purse.
comparison.
Nonetheless, if they're real,
I got screwed.
describe every problem with the boot or both boots. Describe if they have any scuffs. Show close-ups.
Yeah.
Everything about it. And
yeah, okay, so the way that I think about how we could have avoided what were those shoes that came back?
oh, the Jordans.
Yeah, that I'm not quite sure how we would have gotten around, but they were a little like whoever was wearing them. They must have been, people who walk on the outsides of their feet, and so their shoe kind of like folds in or folds over. So even though we took really good pictures, I think the structure was based on that because whoever had been wearing them kind of manipulated the structure of the ankle to make it look like it wasn't well, of course it was original, but I think it just damaged the structure
They
of
frauded
it.
our shoe by the way they were.
So I think as long as you disclose literally everything and you picture it, I think you shouldn't have a problem getting them authorized.
Basket Noodle says, in America, delayed is sort of the opposite of getting screwed. Just saying.
Delayed. Oh, okay.
Major wins in attack mode. Be in attack
Uh-oh.
mode. And I'm thinking that Beard is going to be on. I don't have no reason to believe why he's not. So make sure.
I don't know why, but I keep thinking today is Monday.
Make sure that you guys, after the show, go head over to Bearded Picker channel and go in and support his live. I will try to be on there after dinner time. Problem is, we're sitting there with our stomachs all growling and stuff. The live ends and it's like, well, it's time to eat. But his live starts. So sometimes we try to jump on. We order something to have delivered and we jump off and do our thing. So Paul Rose is with us this evening. John, Jenna, and F.A. Peeps. Did I just hear John say there's a rock version of the outro today? Oh, behave. Yeah, baby, yeah. Not a rock version.
You really need to do one for Paul. You really
I'm
need
going
to do one just for Paul.
Paul, I want to know who your favorite artist is, and I will try to do something for that. Even though I'm not good at rocks, so I probably will pick the wrong one out of the many they'll give me.
Yeah.
So just let me know who you like, and I'll try to
Oh, Devon.
diversify. Devon says my bro is visiting from California. Have been driving around today.
Oh well, you're rolling your eyes, but are you just doing like the touristy thing? Has he been up to visit you before? That's exciting. I bet you're excited.
Duncan says, "Oh no, he mentioned the PPP. Excuse me while I go pee-pee." So we actually had the Profit Playbook podcast that you're going to see tomorrow.
Okay, I gotta go blow my nose.
We started off somewhat slow.
Sorry.
That makes for bad TV.
I'm sorry.
We started off somewhat slow, like the first 30 seconds, and then I posed the question to the guys, and it really kicked off a good conversation. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern to the Profit Playbook podcast. Go check them out. Callie Deb says, we're doing fine now. Thank goodness. John and Jenna, thank you for asking. No, we're very concerned. It's really a horrible thing that happened, and hopefully, it'll take a while to recover, but hopefully that'll happen sooner than later. Mike says, we had dinner at the steakhouse at the D where I was staying at the time. I think I remember that. Because you've been out a few times, so just trying to figure out which one that was. But I think I remember that. I think I lost money on that trip, by the way. Biff Boffo says you can get keto without getting weird. You can. Keto, the thing about keto, because I've been thinking about maybe the carnivore, that's kind of a hardcore thing, but I want to show up to my golf trip here feeling really good. I don't want to feel like sluggish or just, I want to fit into things, right? So I don't know if a keto would be enough. Maybe it will be, but I'm thinking about one of those that I'm going to be doing here pretty soon because it's time, I think. We got Mr. Sadie. He's gifted some memberships. We've got Jenna was gifted a membership by Mr. Sadie, CK Postcards, Grammys Miniatures, and Bob Rolk.
What happened?
I think
Thank you for gifted a membership.
Oh, and also Larry Todd was gifted a membership. I thought Larry Todd was but maybe he spent so much time on Andrew's show that he let his lapse. So I'll forgive him this time. But thank you, Mr. Sadie.
Well, thank you. I guess mine ran out. I gotta up it.
Did you not set it up?
Apparently, I don't have it on.
No, it's not you. There's another person named Jenna.
Oh.
Jenna, yes. So Jenna, if you're the other Jenna got hooked up.
How exciting!
Yeah.
You don't meet many Jennas.
So here's the thing that we do. Henri Squaw went in and hit the like button, got a sale. If you go in and hit the like button within 24 hours, you're going to get a sale. Don't know how it works, but we're pushing that karma. Even Mike's going to get a sale, I think, if he hits the like button. He hasn't got a sale for like 9 days. So go on and hit that like button. Let's see. Will to you says, hey guys, if I can't ask, how do you guys decide what value point to sell on eBay to make it worth your time? Thank you. Well, you got to figure out what you're trying to accomplish. So it starts with having a plan. So let's say you get a retirement. Let's say you get a pension. Let's say you have a full-time job and you're trying to do this part-time. Well, you got to figure out, what do I need to make every day to make the money that I need to pay the bills, to have extra money, whatever it is, and try to focus on getting to that place. Now, for some, depending on what you're selling, it could be, $10, $15 items. Doing that, you're going to have to list a lot. And I implore you guys, stop counting the number of items you're listing on a daily basis. Start looking at how much value you're putting into your store. So if you have $15 items and you're trying to, it really depends on the demand. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but you should be trying to list, I'd say, a solid $400 or $500 of inventory every day is kind of where and if you're a full-time seller, probably try to list upwards of between 500 to 1,000 or more of inventory every day. and for us, we have a very high sell-through rate store. On the main store, we have 180 items because was at 200 a couple weeks ago, but sales have been that good. And I think we have like 450 sales in the last 90 days, despite having 180 items store. So it's been pretty good, and it's just a matter, if I want to do better, I'm going to have to scale up the value that I'm putting into my store. I guess the next goal is to get my store up to 20K in value. Basket Noodle says open sales equals underwear too large in stormy weathers. Yeah, you could talk to Beard about underwear that's too large. Joe Samart says don't forget no mail on Monday.
Yeah, it's Martin Luther King's birthday on Monday as well.
Now, despite how many times we've said that, I wonder how many people are going to still go and show up to the post office on Monday. We are going to do a live on Monday, so we're gonna rock it.
It's not interrupting my.
Your what?
My televised things.
Jenna sounds like she's talking with a large sports microphone.
I am. Did you not see the size of my pink microphone?
And then Devon says, Jen, I bet you are so excited to see
I
him.
am so excited. I have not seen my son in almost a year.
Jules says, I had a day without a sale.
Thank you, Mike. I will tell him.
Yes, thank you for that. Jules says, I had a day without a sale last week. It was very odd. I typically sell around 10 items a day. First time in a year this happened. Then the days following my sales were insane.
Yes. It's like they turn off the fire hose and then they turn it back on.
We got Retro Going Gone. Says, good evening, John and Jenna, and also chat.
Hello.
Well, nice to
RGG.
see you. And you know what? I love seeing the newer names. You guys are watching. You guys enjoy the show. And you have the ability to hop in and chat just to say hi. I'd like to hear from you.
I'm trying to see what the picture is of. It's an animal.
Ping G says, Monday is Martin Luther King. Yes, Martin Luther King birthday. Callie Debs, Major One, thank you. I hope you and Ro are safe from fires and feeling better now too.
Yeah, are you guys gonna come back to YouTube? Just curious. I would love to see you guys again.
One thing about those fires is be careful if it rains, because you're gonna have all that.
Yeah, the mudslides are gonna be on another level.
Cesar Loza says, I got a Jaden thermal printer. Thanks to you guys, it works great. Yes.
Yay!
Good to hear.
I love our Jaden's printer.
It's Bluetooth. It's so good. You can print from your phone. Let's say you're having a problem with your internet connection. You can go. Maybe you're working on something, or you want to run your labels from your phone with your cell service, and then kick them over to the printer. You can, and you'd never know the difference. So
yeah, I love mine.
Yeah, go check them out and use the code down below. Get I don't know why 14. Why not 15? Why not 16?
That's exactly what I said to you.
But I can't answer that. I didn't make the discount, but go get 14% off.
Didn't ask either.
Devon says, I've never had a chargeback yet.
You better knock on some wood, girlfriend.
It's just a matter of time, but don't let it freak you out when it happens. Just make sure. See, the key to winning chargebacks as a seller is providing more than enough information. So I want you to think of what would his diatribe look like if his diatribe was to defend my chargeback? It would be like,
oh geez,
it would be extra information, right? So the more information, the better. And that's what you need to do to win your case on those. I've won cases as a buyer, against some of these people who do the bait and switch and liquidation. I've won those cases, and I've won most of my cases, all but one, as a seller on eBay. Ask a Noodle says, eBay rubber rewards definition, bending over backwards, gifting customer service, and an e-kiss. John Doe says, everyone needs to block that buyer ASAP.
Yes, for real.
Devon, WTF, that is a lot of money. It is.
Sure is.
It is. Biff says, I think we all must have been recommended that video about the $7,700 scam, card scam.
I haven't looked, but...
I mean, it's. I feel bad for the guy, I do, but I think when he got to the part where he had no returns and he denied the buyer's request, that's where I'm getting kind of like, okay, so if we're playing chess and not checkers, what's the buyer's next recourse if I say no to this? And am I okay with losing that amount of money when they go and do a chargeback? Because that's their next recourse. So
it's really too bad.
$20, $50, $75 item, I'm not worrying about it. I'm gonna let the buyer do what they're gonna do. But something of that value, send it back. I'll send you a label. So now they go to try to open a chargeback. I can still make the case that the buyer didn't act in good faith, because even though we have a no returns policy, I was happy to take the return. I sent them a return label and they didn't follow through. They're going to have to explain that, justify that.
What I think people get caught up in is they're like, oh, this item's been sitting for, 4, 5, 6 months. And, oh, it just sold. I'm so excited. And then they, the person's like, oh, I want to return it, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, it's been sitting in my store for 6 months. I don't want it back. Well, somebody else is going to buy it. It may be another 6 months, but it's going to eventually sell just like it did the first time. So don't be so scared about a return coming back and not being able to resell it. I think we get so attached we get so attached to our items, and we really should not. Yeah.
Okay, so our mailman's here. This is the segment where she gets up and goes and opens the door and hands our packages off. Devon says, when selling on eBay, you should have returns. A couple reasons, guys. Number one, the buyer can get around your no return policy anytime they want. They can open a 9 ad. That's a ding against your returns when they open a 9 ad. Whether they return it or not, they can cancel the return request in 5 minutes. You still have that ding. But if you have no returns, it doesn't give your potential buyer, a whole lot of confidence in buying your item. It's like, why would they put no returns? Someone that's thinking, which I guess we don't give our buyers that much credit, but there are buyers out there that do. The buyers that are thinking and reading through and seeing this, it might get them to pause and go, wait. So you're saying if I have a problem with this, I'm stuck with it? No, I'll see if someone else has it. I'm promising you it's hurting your sales if you have a no return policy. Now, something like parts or repair, as is, yeah, you've made it clear in the listing and you're not standing behind your item. The buyer's taking a chance at a discount to buy this and maybe fix it or part it out. And you don't want it back. So I can see, even though they can get around your no return policy if they really wanted to. Who Did It 99 says, don't remove feedback when buyer was confused about a partial refund. Thought my 25% offer was the only option for returns. eBay rep they don't understand. They don't understand, and they don't have a system in place to lock in and guarantee what they're saying in writing. So we went over the whole seller protection thing, saying, oh yeah, we'll remove that negative feedback like it's automatic. And even when it's not automatic, you go and fill out their form that they've created, and then you still get denied. It's like, but what about your policy? You can point to the seller protection, by the way, and 9 times out of 10, they're still going to rubber stamp it as denied. And then is it worth calling them, getting someone from the dispute team on the phone to explain their policy, and all they're going to tell you is, well, we're going to have to send this to the back room. Now, who the hell is in the back room eating Cheetos or pizza or whatever? I don't know, but it shouldn't be like that. It's in writing. It shouldn't have to be an effort. No. But you know what? We accept it. We sell on the platform. We move on, and we allow ourselves to get disappointed, and it's just part of the experience. Basket Noodle says, well, chargebacks are a yang deal at eBay, cheaper than it costs with the merchant account, to be sure. Who Did It says, I've never seen eBay credit my account for return shipping. They did it one time, $6. Now, if you are providing a $20, $30 return label, it's like $6. And it's a perfect number because they know most people aren't going to go through the effort to try to get that $6. It's just like, is it worth $6? I'm going to probably give you $20 of my time. It's not a good trade-off, and they know it. Yeah. Basket Noodle says, when I'd merchant account even if the sale was $1, if someone did charge back instantly, it cost me $100. Yeah. TikTok says, that's why you sell high value items at the reputable auction house. All sales there are final.
Yeah.
But not everyone has the type of item that would work or would even be appropriate at a auction house, right? Someone like Josh Galt, all day long, he's got stuff that'll do well there.
I think he's talking about the trading cards.
Very true. But so I really do think that eBay is probably the best place to maximize the value that you get for most of your items. Auction houses are going to yield the potential buyer a discount. So that same set of Topps cards probably would have only got $3,000 to $4,000 at an auction house as compared to eBay. My opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's probably the case. Alicia says our eBay store has no returns. Customer submitted a return request because they changed their mind and we declined it. They did a credit card dispute and eBay protected us. We kept our money.
That's good.
So there's a number.
That doesn't happen often.
That doesn't happen often, but there's a number of factors. Like that video that we were talking about, the baseball cards. Really nowhere in that video did he lay out the steps of what he did to fight the chargeback. There's a lot of folks that will submit the bare bones minimum and hope that, eBay is going to do the rest for us. eBay's just going to submit what you submit. So if you're not putting, all the correspondence, it's not enough to tell eBay, look at the messages between buyer and seller. No, you save those as a screenshot and you upload each one of those. I think you have a max number of, 5. But what I used to do when they just had one screenshot, I would go in and do a Word document and put everything on that MS Word document, and I would send that off. And they're working with information, so it's quite possible that you maybe did a good job in documenting everything, eBay policy, what you did, what the buyer said. There's many that don't, but I promise you, Alicia, if you had returns on, you're going to get more sales. I promise you, because the buyers are seeing that. And maybe you're happy with the number of sales you're getting and the way things are, but if you're looking to improve that, I really do think that does kind of keep you back. It holds you back. Larry Todd says, Anissa snooping on me in Andrews. What the hell, woman? Geez, see, we got little birdies out there that are watching our community.
There's always somebody who, I always see, well, I haven't in a long time, but Tommy Bernard, I always used to see him in the lawyer, comments.
Anyone ever see him, Tommy Bernard, around?
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Maybe he just doesn't like the show anymore. I don't know. But Susan Phelps says, I just do free returns, saves the back and forth. Mm-hmm. For me, though, this is something everyone has to figure out. Free returns versus buyer pays. If you have items that aren't going to cost you a whole lot for the return label, then free returns make sense. But if you're selling a toilet seat, like $50-$60 free returns, you're going to pay, how much is that toilet seat today to ship? 20 bucks?
No, it was 30 something.
30 something bucks. You only made 50 something bucks, and probably not even that after fees. So you're making like 10 to 20 bucks. Well, guess what? They open a return and you have free returns. That just ate up all your profit. Mm-hmm. It ate up everything, because you're going to have to refund them everything on free returns. Well, in this case, we don't have separate shipping calculated. This is all free shipping too. $50-something.
Yeah, well, they tried to do priority mail for $145. I was like, no.
Baskin says, my bank charged me $25 to reserve funds. Merchant account provided $25 processing fee. Actual processor like Wells Fargo charged $25 service fee, and it cost me $25 just to respond to the chargeback. And I think that's a pretty good deal, even though, we all say that sucks, where eBay says, look, if you lose the chargeback, you have to pay us $20. So they're not even saying it costs $2,500 like Baskin Noodles, saying there's a very good chance that they're maybe they're splitting the cost with you. I don't know what it is, but for them to say, look, we're going to charge you $20 if you lose the case. You really need to have your ducks in a row, provide that documentation, because if you don't have it, you're probably better off just to give the buyer a refund and just call it a day, because you're not going to win that case if you don't have information for the credit card companies. Basket Noodle says, even if one win a chargeback, the consumer can file again. eBay is able to intervene on that. I think most buyers don't know that. Major Wen is talking to Susan, but he's saying, we do free returns and people still try to get us to give them the item for free. It's been much more aggressive lately. The good thing is we're getting used to it. We automate replies. Nothing wrong with that, automating a reply. Sure. Jules Y75 says, I think eBay does whatever. I was watching another YouTube seller had a negative removed because they offered buyer refund. Heck, I do that and ask them to remove mine and they don't.
Yeah.
True. And I also really think, and this is coming from the call center world, you have two different agents and one will apply the policy differently and the other one won't even look at the policy. They're like, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that that's going on too. John Doe says, my store is set at accepted within 30 days. Buyer pays money back. Yep. Basket Noodle says, debit card, rake both sides, customers and seller, make money coming and going no matter the circumstances. Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, so Andrew, he's a YouTuber out of UK.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. No competition for us.
What the
said.
heck? Michael Phillip, well, obviously there is. I mean, Todd's getting so immersed in the content over there. Paul Rose says, Anissa, is that money mental? I'm not a big fan, LOL. I don't know.
Money
mental?
Mental
money. I don't know. Basket Noodle says the friendly fraud, as it's called, happening in enormous fashion to retailers may drive changes in credit debit card usage and protections. Well, it's about time they get their stuff together and take a look at that. Michael W. Blade says, hey guys, new subscriber here.
Well, hello.
Well, welcome to the you got the right button?
I don't know which
Welcome
button
to
you
the
want me
community.
use.
We have a community of folks that like to hang out here every Monday and Friday. We talk shop for a couple hours, and then when we're done, a lot of us go over to the Discord, which costs nothing, to go in and ask questions and share experiences. It's pretty cool. So check out the link in the chat for the Discord or down below in the item description. 1186 says, what is your experience with item not received cases that have been closed in your favor but the buyer then appeals? Well, anytime that I've never had a buyer appeal item not received case, so it's cut and dry. Did the item arrive? Is there a delivery scan of that item in the tracking? And when there is, the buyer could say the item was left on my porch, but it wasn't there when I got home from work. Well, that's not your problem. The buyer can say, and I had one like this before, where obviously the mailman put it in the wrong box. They have a community box. There's like 12 boxes for a row of houses, whatever. They put it in the wrong box. That's not my problem. So therefore, an eBay protects us as sellers as part of the seller protection. And you have to remind them, hey, according to your seller protection, it shows a delivery scan, and therefore I'm covered. And so they shouldn't even allow a buyer to open a case on a case like that, because there's no grounds for them to open a case on. Unless there was a mistake made when the case was closed where there was no delivery scan. So for me, I haven't had an experience with the buyer opening a case because that just doesn't happen very often. Here's the link to the Discord if you guys want to go check that out. And Paul is saying that's a big pink microphone.
It sure is.
And she had to have that. And guess where I bought it, guys? I was looking on Amazon and they were out of the pink ones, and a seller on eBay had it. $99 free shipping. And they did a pretty good job to get it.
Just would have got the pink one in the first place.
I know. Grateful Dad ATX says, yes, a general topic to kick off the live would be cool, but it might cut into your topic specific videos, which I like just as much as well. And that's a big challenge too, trying to give you guys a topic to start off the conversation. So the reason is we get the conversation going. We get it started with just a random topic. Now, of course, the conversation can change based on your questions and stuff, but at least it gets people in the lives that maybe have similar issues they want to talk about and ask questions about. And it does cut into the pre-recorded stuff. It is so hard after you've made, I think we have, 400 plus non-live videos in our library. I mean, it's a lot that we have recorded over the years, and to really not talk about what we've talked about before is a challenge.
Keith said my buttons aren't working.
They're not working?
No.
What do you mean? I can barely hear it because I have our speakers down, but I still have. No, I think it's working. I don't think we've been pushing them very often.
I believe Keith more than I believe you.
I know that sucks. Mike G says, I made a mistake on clothing item. Buyer contacted me first and was very nice about it. I did a full refund and ate the $7 ship buy cost. Lost a $25 sale, but clean service metrics are important. Yeah. Right. So what is your price? So what's your line on that? So let's say losing $100. Is that something where you would change the way you handle that? Is it $500? I'm curious and for many of us, we don't even think about it. I like to draw like a line. So, okay, I will handle it this way if it's under this amount, and that way to protect me if it's over that amount. Karen Wolven says, my buyer opened a return. I sent a return label at my expense, of course. Buyer has decided they want to keep the item. Now what? How do I get my money for the label I already sent? Now, if you went and bought the label through pirate ship, that's usually one way to do it. If you're just sending them the label without them opening a return request, well, that label, you can go into pirate ship and ask for a refund. Or you go in to, you don't have to do anything. If it's a return through eBay where you provide the label, that label will not be charged against you if they don't use it. Kelly says, let the mods control the chat and maybe skim the comments versus reading every single one. If you want to discuss topics, then it gives you time to do that. Mm-hmm. The way I look at it, though, Kelly, is that, and some way I've always felt, is that people are willing to come in and hang out and just say hi. I want to acknowledge that they're here. That's kind of why we do it. And I can tell you, if I skip the comments, we would only be here for 45 minutes to an hour. If I skipped all the smaller
I think
talk.
some would be okay with that.
You want to do that?
No.
Okay. Head to toe theatrical. The ice is finally gone here.
Oh.
See, I would have never have known. If I would have skipped that comment right there, I would never have known that.
But where?
And she would never had a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Swamp Picker says, bye, need to eat. Going to be in the 20s next week.
Ooh, make sure you pack on the pounds to stay warm.
Yeah. Well, I need to eat too, but I'm still going to stick through it here. Major Win says, haha, don't do that in Oxnard. Mike G. Karen, you don't get charged until it's scanned. Yeah.
Sure.
Scott N says, I gave the video a like and got a sale. What do you know? It works. I'm telling you.
Since my buttons aren't working.
It works. It works. It all works. Southern Vermont Vintage question. Feature working? I don't know. It should be working. Darn it. Tell me you can't hear that.
Can you not hear that?
You can't hear you can do it? Because that's making me sad right now. Computer sounds are on. Well, we're just going to have to go back to the replay and check it out. Basketball says, vulgar eBay messages are called the buyer is being sophisticated. Sophisticated. Jeez. And then Devon says we can meet up.
Yes.
TikTok says, rocket in the free world after Monday.
That's what I'm saying.
Shortcoin, Devon, they are real, but customers will say they are fake, so they can get away with scamming buyers. But if it goes through authentication, it doesn't matter what the customer says.
Exactly. They have to go through authentication before they get to the buyer. So they're going to this, warehouse or wherever they have this authentication process at, and they approve it and say, yes, they're real or no, they're not. And then they go to the buyer if they are real. And so if they're going to the buyer, they're lying. They're liars.
And, that's a good thing for resellers having that authentication, because you can never have the INAD from the buyer if they say it's real. Devon says, I talked to eBay and they said no, they will not give me a blue check mark. How do you get a blue check mark on eBay? Forever Bloom says, wow, I'm catching another live. I love that music you have going on. It's so catchy. It's supposed to be minus 30 windshield factor the next 2 days.
Oh my gosh. Where are you? That is freezing.
Well, I got to tell you,
I would literally die.
The outro music we have that you're talking about that you haven't heard yet is so hot that it's gonna melt whatever you have going on over there. It's gonna bring it up to over zero at this point.
They say some cannot hear it, and some can barely hear it.
But you can do it?
Any of them.
Well,
I think there's something's wrong.
I'm gonna listen to the playback.
You gotta fix it.
I will fix it.
I need my buttons.
I will fix it. Let's get through here. So Paul Rose, and I was looking at what he said, if I can find where he likes Alice Cooper, but any hair metal is good.
Hair metal?
Here it is. Alice Cooper is a big favorite. I've even met him.
Oh.
I will do what I can. I don't know if I'm going to do a good job of it because I'm not a fan of... You know what's going on with the chat, so you don't need to keep commenting or looking at me funny when what happens is if someone makes
I wasn't.
You did. You looked at my mouse when it jumped down. Like
I wasn't looking at your mouse. I was looking at your notes.
Looking at my mouse. Scott N says, "Who is this guy with the hair metal comment? I used to play in heavy metal rock bands in the 80s and early 90s. There are even some videos on YouTube from those days.
Oh, wow.
They want me to do a little heavy metal action on the outro, so I'll try to make something.
I'll have to make sure
I'm not a heavy metal guy.
My earplugs.
I love R&B. I love a little of the rap vibe. I love that New Jack swing. Just what I like. It's just my jam. But I got to tell you, I'm really excited to play the outro. I almost want to end the show now so you can hear it, but we're not going to do that. TikTok says you can do modified carnivore, so you make carnivore easy to do. Meat, dairy, eggs, cheese, nuts, and a few fruits and veggies. No oils except coconut and olive.
I can't do a carnivore diet. You can. I can't because I don't have a gallbladder, so I have to be very careful with meat.
We have Jerry Johnson with us. Basking
Hi,
yes,
Jerry.
no kidding, changing my diet, etc. Yes.
Oh.
It's a good idea. I mean, try to. The best thing you can do to help your health is to find ways to reduce inflammation, and I really believe that starts with your diet. S. Latina says, just got my cha-ching and sale for the like. Yay, there you go. Pitco says, well, I'm sat here with all my stock boxed up, ready to move to the commercial unit, so it's going to be a mad week.
Oh,
there we go.
You're going to be busy.
Better than not being busy, I think. Devon says, I missed my son. He left last week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know how that feels so much.
Major Wayne, we keep wanting to, but it's no joke. It takes a lot of work and time.
It really does. Their YouTube channel.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, just trying to do YouTube stuff every day, and I've missed a couple days in getting videos out. I'm just going to keep pushing forward. If I can try to get a video out tomorrow, I will. Devon says, I really try to work with customers with returns so it does not happen. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, communicating with your buyer is so important. You're going to eliminate a lot of these misunderstandings because, we talk about someone who opens a chargeback. Well, maybe they had a legitimate reason to open the chargeback, and had you communicated with them better, it may not have gone to that stage. Now, you can't do anything about scammers, but I think not every person who opens a chargeback is a scammer. Let's see. Trying to get through, but I can't. Paul Rose says, Major, when I'm spending time do-it-yourselfing, not reselling right now, so you would probably miss you. Hang on a while longer. I do miss seeing you, though.
Aw.
And Larry Todd thinks it's funny. He thinks
He's laughing.
the moonlighting with Andrews is funny, and it's really not. It's hurtful. Devon says, every return does sell. I agree, Jenna.
Yes.
Andy Reno, I could not send a return label today. I saved it, screenshot, saved it, PDF. It would not load to my return. I have Windows 10, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Yeah, save it as a screenshot and then go in and try to like open it with a different program and then run your label that way, print it out that way. He runs internet with Firefox. I always try Chrome. Try Chrome if you can. Maybe that'll help, but you don't even need to. If you've saved it as a PDF, go in and try to print it out. Who did it 99 says 7700 scam was brutal. Credit card company and eBay failed him. I can't figure out why it didn't go to authentication. It's a good point because they are graded cards. They should have gone to authentication. Maybe that was his mistake. He should have insisted. Mm-hmm. He probably saw that, okay, fine. Maybe didn't even think about it and shipped it out and was like after the fact, wait, shouldn't this be authenticated? But I think there may be things that he didn't do, with the chargeback that may have hurt him. Paul Rose called eBay a couple days ago trying to buy after just updating my addresses, or address says. Very sarcastic twice. I said, you're being sarcastic again, and they said bye and hung up. Oh, how I've missed eBay.
Oh, wow.
You can report them, if you really wanted to. You call back, get a supervisor, log the time you called. They have your phone number. They could do a trace to find out what agent you dealt with, and then discipline that person if, you want the last laugh. Baskin Noodle says, understand eBay is not making the decision in chargebacks. It's a risk assessment unit at the actual card process, which is Aiden. Aiden only has the details of the sale and the buyer claim. You have to provide as extensive info defense as you can muster. Yes. I was saying, the more information you provide them, eBay is just the person that's taking the information. So you're handing eBay all the information, and eBay's then handing it off. They're just the middleman. So you got to understand, they're not the ones you should be mad at. Biff Buffo, John, have you been talking 20 minutes at the end, taking 20 minutes at the end of the day to update your spreadsheet? I have been some days, not all days. I'm going to be playing catch up, but and it's something I'll be announcing here pretty soon. We are working with a company that does the work for you. You just enter in a few details and you got some cool looking snappy graphics and data and all that stuff at your fingertips. And I'll be talking about that here pretty soon. But the way I work and the way I roll is I will never tell you about a product that I can't get behind. So I'm doing that, and I will be letting you guys know very soon.
It just needs to be automated.
It is, but no program is going to know your cost of goods all that stuff.
But if you can enter that in a simple fashion and then have everything calculate itself, that would be amazing.
And Nissa does want to know, where is Tommy?
I would love to. I hope he's doing okay. Honestly,
fine.
I hope everything is all right and family's good, and it concerns me when people just disappear. And
well, I know his store, and I've checked on his store. He's still selling. He's still listing, and maybe it's just taking too much of his time. Maybe he swore
Karen
off.
Reed was taking too much of his time.
Maybe all of it.
And that whole Karen Reed thing is in a whole big old disaster.
Yeah. Maybe all of it. At some point you gotta figure out where your leaks are coming from. I talk about this all the time. If there's things in your life that's preventing you from getting other things done, then you've got leaks in your business. TikTok says, think in this case the seller should have accepted return on the card collect. Yeah. Situation avoided. You don't have to deal with that buyer anymore. Block them and sell it to someone who's serious.
Jerry, are you feeling okay? I see a little bit of the conversation that you and Rhonda are having.
Paul Rose said hello to Tommy in a chat a few weeks ago, and he replied, I think he's selling cars now as well as eBay, but not certain.
Oh.
So, we all got to do what we got to do. There's going to be times where, you're going to have to change up to make the bills, pay the bills. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just wish him all the best. I've talked to him off air and talked to him on the phone a few times, and he's a wealth of information. He's good for the community, even maybe to fact check me. Baskin Noodle says, yeah, $20 is dirt cheap. If I had respond twice to the same chargeback as the customer, make a new statement, another $25. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Duncan says he'd never send his stuff to an auction house. They want 25% selling fee, plus you have to wait longer for your money. I can do just as well on eBay. Yeah, what is the turnaround time to receive your money when you auction something? Because don't they give a grace period to the buyer? I don't know. I guess it's different everywhere. But yeah, 25% is quite a bit. I'll tell you that. Basket Noodle says, so say my bank Chase, customer bank Chase, my merchant account provider, EMS systems, and card processors is Wells Fargo. It is Wells Fargo's risk assessment going to be mediating the dispute as they are the independent of the seller and buyer. Yeah. But a lot of people feel like, well, it's rigged against me because I lost the case. But did you do everything that you could have done to provide that person reviewing the dispute? Did you provide them all the information that you could have done? Paul Rose says, yeah, John, I always think I really should watch some TV or get some sleep. I'll just hop on for 5 minutes equals 2 hours later. It's 1 a.m. Yeah, it's 1:36 in London, England.
Oh my gosh.
Andre Squall says, eBay protected me on the last chargeback and the buyer won with their card. Here's the Discord link in the chat if you guys want that. Paul Rose says, Jenna, that mug is as big as mine. Only mine lies and says genius at work. We got another one. Oh, that mug right there. Okay. Yeah. We got another
that's
big
not
container.
That's
no, it's not it, but it looks a lot like this. That Bubble Boy sent us. American Bubble Boy.
Yeah.
They sent us some maple. Syrup. Have you heard of maple cream? It's like in a little jar. I thought it was like lotion at first. You know, like I've never heard of maple cream, but it tastes pretty good.
It's almost like a butter, like a maple butter, and you could put it on toast or pancakes. It's amazing.
And they sent us these pure maple sugar, like they look like the maple leaves. They're cut out like a maple leaf, but it's like, are you supposed to drop that in like coffee or so? Are you bake with it, or do you actually eat it?
I'll have to go on their website and see what they recommend.
Can anyone else hear the sound effects from the buttons, or just me that can't? I don't know.
Nobody's hearing them.
Beers says, bad info. Pirate ship doesn't charge you for the return label unless it's used, so you don't have to cancel it or get a refund or something you didn't pay for. Mm-hmm. Well, when I buy a label through Pirate Ship, it charges my card right away. It does. Charges my card right away. You go in and cancel it and void the label out through Pirate Ship if that's the case.
Beard losing all that money thinking.
No, it does. It charges you right away. I know it does because there's been many times that I bought a label through Pirate Ship. Maybe when you're not doing a label and I'm doing a label, I buy the label and it's charging my account. It does. It charges my account. Maybe I'm just the guy who gets the short end of the stick, but it's charging my account. Let's see here. Rovio says, John, turn the volume up on your beatbox. You can just barely hear it. I'll work it out. I'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Andy says, sounds like the mailman at the front door is saying, I can do it. Trying to get in the house. I can do it. Devon says, the blue authentication check mark on the boots so they can send them to the warehouse. I think you need $500 above. No, with shoes, it's $75 or more. Yeah. Now, I don't know about boots, but shoes, it's $75, not including the shipping. So if you want to get around the authentication and say, look, I don't know about these shoes, and maybe I'll just get rid of them, $74.99 is where you need to be. TikTok says, I think you mean windshield, not windshield. Did you say that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you guys aren't hearing the sound effects, I'll just have to go back and fix it for next time. Mike G says, love seeing the bickering between you two. You're not a happy couple unless you bicker some. Yes.
We bicker
it's
a lot.
Fake. Gutted, says Flippin' A-Z. You can do it comes from your mic picking it up on your speakers, but not the way it should. All right, let's try this. Because, see, I don't want the... Go ahead.
You can do it!
Oh my God! Jesus.
Did you hear it now?
God. Well, between the two microphones, I sure hope nobody had headphones on.
Paul Rose says, yeah, got on stage with the props before the concert and have photographs with him. They say, don't meet your heroes, but he was great. That's Alice Cooper. He's a golfer. I wouldn't mind playing. Yes, he plays golf. That's the one thing I know about Alice Cooper. He likes golf. Homeless Flipper says, "Hey guys, hope all is well. Almost done getting settled in my new apartment. It's been a lot of work having not to only move, but also move my entire storage unit into my new apartment to work from home." There you go.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you.
It may be that you're hearing it from when I have the volume turned up on my speakers. That might be it. Basket Noodle says, "Oh well, must be on my way. Time to feed Snake Puskin.
Puskin.
He's howling at me. Crazy cat. Take care, all." All right.
Well, take care,
nice to see you. Devon says, "eBay is really just a platform for us to sell."
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what it is.
You know?
Duncan says, "Windows 10 is outdated and end of support. I always have eBay on 3 browsers, Firefox, Chrome, and Edge. When eBay plays up on one browser, use the other. But do you need Windows 11, the newer version?" I think you should be able to download upgrade 10 to 11. It shouldn't cost you anything.
But you do need Windows 11, the newer version.
I'm still addressing the statement. Did I not say it?
You just said it as a question.
No, sir. That's not a correct statement, Andy. I did look at that one and another one. We'll be talking about it here soon, but stay tuned.
Grateful Dad.
What?
That just made my Friday night.
What did? Oh, the loud one?
The thing.
Jerry says,
jump out of my chair.
Jenna, have been diagnosed with diverticulitis this week. I don't know if I said that right. Been spending my time getting antibiotics 3 times a day. And today I have one more to do at 10.
Oh my
sorry to hear
gosh.
that.
I'm praying for you, Jerry.
I
hope you feel better very, very soon.
Yeah, that's no good. So let's get healthy. Devon says, "eBay does charge your credit card right away when you win an auction. I score a Stella and McCartney bag for $35 and it's real." Wendy's Wanderings, Books and More. The maple leaves are candy, most likely. The maple producers here in the farm show in PA. I'm hopeful because that would be kind of good. I might have one tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you to American Bubble Boy for sending us that. They were, they sent us a little card. They sent us some a few supplies.
We got
a gift card.
3-inch tape. We got.
Oh, did they give us some 3-inch tape?
Yes, they did.
Awesome.
They gave us the Saran wrap rolls.
Yep,
that
I like
we
that.
For our shoes.
So they hooked us up.
They also gave us this package of something.
Yeah, it's a little thing where you tear it off and you bust up the chemicals inside and it expands in the box, so it creates its own like cushion to form the item.
Interesting.
Paul Rose says, "John, it's a good job. I don't have a weak heart." What job do you have? That's good. I must have missed it. Joe Ambley says, "It would have been nice if the video that guy released actually had some detail rather than just being him moaning trying to get PR response from eBay." Yeah, I really don't know if he knew to do more than he did with the chargeback and therefore he didn't talk about it. Sorry. At least we know it works, right? So we all fixed it together.
Yeah.
Michael Phillips says, "I can hear it."
Yes.
Yes.
You can do it.
That's a little bit better, though. That's
Busy girl.
Busy girl's with us. Been listening while working outside. Not raining today. Yay. Your sound effects isn't going through your system. Dang, John almost dropped my phone on that sound. LOL. At least it wasn't glass or anything.
I hope Joni wasn't listening because
Jules Y75 says,
right out of the bed.
I tried to do a missing mail inquiry just then and USPS won't even do it. They said it's a third-party reshipper. The address, this was on the website. Have you heard of this? And I didn't know. Who did you buy the label through? Because if you bought it through eBay, it's a USPS label. Interesting, because I've never had that. They've always filed a mail inquiry when someone says they didn't receive it, and they usually someone will call me from the post office where it's going to. Head to toe theatrical. Wow, that did it. You sure can do it. Jerry Johnson says, "Thank you, Jen and everyone. At least they're not talking surgery."
Yeah. Thank goodness. But
that's awesome.
I just hope you're on the mend very, very quickly.
find, we don't have a lot of control what goes on inside of our body, but I think maybe we have some control over what goes in there, and maybe to look at what you have going. What can you do to maybe try to help that a little bit? Maybe a little bit of, and I don't, what do we have? We have, there's that orange stuff that we use.
Turmeric?
Yes, turmeric. That stuff is good for inflammation. They say that inflammation causes disease, so think about that.
Curcumin is what I've been taking lately, and it makes me feel so much better.
Paul Rose, with the audio, I nearly jumped out of bed. We woke up all of England. Jovial says, anyone hoping to get tickets to the Fire Aid benefit January 30th? An absolutely incredible lineup.
What is?
I don't know what that is.
What is that?
I do not know what that is.
Rhonda, send me a text with that info.
So here's the deal, guys. We're at the end of chat, and I just want you guys to do me a couple things. I want you to have a great weekend. Try to take one of the days off because we don't have to ship on Monday, so take a little time off for yourself. But we have a live stream that's happening here in the next less than 15 minutes over at Bearded Pickers channel. Go over there, and I'm going to get that worked out to where I can port you guys over. So go over there here, but don't go yet. I'm very excited for you to hear the outro, and then you can then go over there.
No, it's not heavy metal.
It's not heavy metal, but...
Or hair metal, or whatever it is that you called it.
I liked it enough where I was bumping it loud.
He turned it all the way up, just like you guys heard, so that I could hear it all the way in the back of the house.
And we have a little thing for our a little shout out to our sponsors in that as well. So thank you guys for being here. Just know this, that eBay tells us we have seller protections. Whether or not they honor it, sometimes it's a crapshoot. But dealing with that, learning how to deal with that, and having the mindset that it's not going to stop us from kicking butt on eBay and making those sales is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And
we hope you have a wonderful weekend. Everybody stay safe, stay warm. We will pray for you all as always, and we love you.
And we'll see you on Monday and maybe have a video over the weekend. Take care.
Chargebacks, returns, and lowball offers too. Barrel takedowns, they're a pain, what can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buys galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them, and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. It's already easy.